back to my channel. Right, so as I was saying that we want to do an example to see how do we use this approach now to answer any question in exam. So this is the example that we want to do. The example is saying the following information relates to labor cost for the past month. Budget, we have labor rate, production time, time per unit, production units. Then actual, we have wages paid, we have production, we have total hours worked. Then required, calculate labor rate variance, labor efficient variance, and labor total variance. Right, so this is the example that we want to do. So this is now how we answer it. So we are saying we want to use less than and greater than approach. So you draw your greater than sign, you put A, then you draw your less than sign, you put S, right? So we are saying, since we are talking of what? Labor variance. So it means we are talking of hours, right? So it means we are saying actual hours times actual rate, actual hours times standard rate, standard hours times standard rate. So we are saying from our question there, what is the actual hours? What is the actual rate? So from this, there's no need for us to calculate it because they already calculated it for us. They are providing us with the full amount that they paid for the actual production. So for the actual production, they paid 176,000, right? So actual hours is 14,000 hours. Then what is standard rate? Standard rate from our question is $10 per hour. Then standard hours. So here you need to be very careful. Most of the students, they failed to get this correct. If you see yourself failing these questions, it means you did not get it here right. So you need to be very careful when you do standard hours. Remember, this is the standard hours for the actual output. So we are saying here, we are saying as we budgeted to work 15 hours to produce 5,000 units, but now we produced 5,500 units. Are we supposed to work 14,000 hours? If for 15,000 hours we managed to produce 5,000 units, what about to produce 5,500 units? We must work how many hours here? This is what we are talking about. So we are saying to produce 5,000 units, we worked for 15,000 hours. What about to produce 5,500 units? We must work more. So we are saying 5,500 divided by 5,000 times 15,000. It means we're supposed to work 16,500 hours. So you come and put 16,500 hours, then times a standard rate, which is 16,500. So it's now simple to get your variance. So we come from the bottom here, going up. So we use bottom-up method to calculate our variance. Right, so remember, the difference between this is labor efficient variance. The difference between this is labor rate variance. So 16,000, so it's 160,000, right? It's 160 because 16,500 times 10, so 160,500. So we are saying 160,500 minus 140,000 is how much here? 160,500 minus 140,000. So it means it's 20,000. 20,000. So is this favorable or unfavorable or adverse? So we are saying if you calculate this minus this, if you get a positive, it means this is favorable. But if you calculate this minus this, you get negative, it means it's adverse. So you use this you use bottom-up method. But if you use this coming down the up to bottom method, it means if you get a favorable amount, it means it's a negative. If you get a favorable amount, it means it's a negative. But if you use this approach, if you get a favorable, a positive amount like this, it means it's favorable. Then here we are saying 140 minus 176, right? So you see that right is 36,000. So this one is what? It's adverse because we are saying 140 minus 176,000. Right. So it means our answer there for labor efficient variance is 20,000 favorable. Then for labor rate variance is 36,000 adverse. So how do you calculate total labor now? It's now simple. We are saying negative 36 plus 20,000. So in other words here, to get the total, we are saying negative 36,000 plus 20,000. In other words, we are saying what is the difference between 30,000 and 20,000, right? So you'll see that is 16,000, but adverse. It's negative 16,000, which is an adverse. So this is the total. So our answer here, you can say, therefore, labor rate variance is equals to what? To adverse 36,000. Then, which is labor efficient variance is equals to favorable 20,000. Then total labor variance is equals to adverse 16,000. So this is how you do this, guys. So you can see that everything will become clear using the less than and greater than approach. So thank you guys for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for following me on Facebook page. Thank you guys for following me on TikTok. So continue support me, guys. Thank you very much. Yanga uzotoa.
Na?
Yanga uzotoa. Sasa chaturiti.